All right, I've done it. I have made my 22 to read in 2022 list, although this is a part one, because I always do the Reddit bingo challenge, which starts in April, and that always has like 25 prompts to fill, so I'm only doing 10 books, I think, on this TBR to like get me to April, and then maybe whatever's left over I can try to fit on the bingo, and then I'll have my bingo TBR like I did last year. And some of these are meant to help my bingo TBR. And yeah, I'm really excited about all 10 of these. So I am still like kind of doing this challenge, but because I know I'm going to have this other challenge that'll require so many books of me, I just wanted to like leave myself open because I love preparing for that bingo challenge. But I still wanted to make a books I want to read in 2022. And like last year, I tried not to do fantasy series or things that are on other lists. Like this is meant to be like pick outside of my normal comfort zone. Like, so there's going to be a middle grade on here. I have some standalones. It is some fantasy, some sci-fi, just stuff that's been sitting around on my want to read shelf on Storygraph that I'm like, oh yeah, I want to read it. And some of these I already have buddy reads lined up, and it makes me really excited. So let's start at the top. We've got The Last Conquista. So this is a middle grade sci-fi story, and it's going to help me with my bingo board because I still don't have a Latinx story there, which I read a lot of Latinx, but the requirement for the hard mode is less than 1,000 ratings, and I have not gotten that. So this one, though, has, I think, only 600, 800 ratings on Goodreads, so I need to read it, like, now before that doesn't work. But I don't know exactly what this is about, but I've been told about it by my friend Jocelyn, and recently Shannon read it from That So Po. And what I know is that people need to leave Earth for reasons, presumably post-apocalyptic, and she is a holder of stories, the Last Conquista, and when she wakes up from cryogenic sleep, people don't remember humanity the right way, or there's something that happens when she wakes up where things are not right, and that's what gets explored. I've been wanting to read middle grade this year. This seems like my type of middle grade. I love sci-fi when it's in middle grade or young adult. I want more of it, so I want to support this one, especially also since it's by a Latinx author. So it's on my list, and also this cover is stunning, so if I like it, I can go get a copy, and that would be very exciting. So it's on my Kindle. Like, I really want to pick it up. I really want to throw my TBR out the window for the month and pick it up, and I might if I get, like, bogged down in things, but we're not there yet, so it's the first one on this list. Next up, we've got The Queen of Blood. This is also for a bingo square. This is for a story that takes place in a forest, and for the hard mode, it was completely in a forest, which there are, like, no books that meet this qualification. But this one does, the first book in the Queens of Renthia series by Sarah Beth Durst. I know my friend Jessi from The Bookish Mom loves this series, loves everything by this author, essentially. I've been wanting to read stuff by this author. I know the main character is, like, I think the opposite of a Mary Sue. She's, like, okay at things, so I'm excited for that. And just, like, the setting sounds really interesting and how the magic might work. I'm hoping it's just a very good, like, fun escapism fantasy read for me. Next up is a buddy read with my friend at the book circus, Laura. We actually buddy read The Prey of Gods last year, and we haven't buddy read anything yet since, and we're just like, we should buddy read something together, so we're going to read The Vanished Birds. This has been on my radar since 2020 when it came out. This is a, I think, soft social sci-fi. I don't know about the social part, but it's definitely, I think, a reflective sci-fi, and that's all I know. I just have been wanting to read it. I'm good with reflective, like, soft sci-fi, and I think that's what it is. I've just been really interested, and this author has another release coming out this year. So if I like it, then I can get extra hyped for his new release. Another sci-fi that's been on my radar that I even have a copy of is Do You Dream of Terra 2. I got this used at my local bookstore. My friends have all been yelling at me to read this, and it's going to be a buddy read with my friend Jocelyn. I don't know if we'll read at the beginning of the year or the end. We're starting our buddy reads in, like, March. We picked two. I'll talk about the other one next, because we're like, I guess we could flip a coin, but we could also read both, so that's what we're deciding to do. This one, I think we're not on Earth, or maybe we're looking for a new Earth. Can a dream sustain a lifetime? Have you ever dreamed of a better world? These are questions that are just on the back of the book. Have you ever hoped you could leave everything behind? I don't know what this is about. I have just been told to read it by a lot of my friends who have similar taste in sci-fi to me. So, Do You Dream of Terra 2? on the list. And then the other buddy read with Jocelyn is The Destroyer of Light. This is by an author who I've always wanted to read their novella Elysium, and I've never been able to get my hands on it. It's like kind of difficult to get the ebook from my libraries. They do have a physical copy I could get out, and that's like a really odd world-built novella from what I've heard, and I do want to read it. But this is a new release that's out in hardback from Tor that's like a 300-some page novella, and I have no idea what it's about. My friend Judith from Dead Good Book Reviews talked about it, and I'm like, oh, I want to read a thing by this author. Cool. And so I just put it on my TBR. And so we're reading it just because it's on both of our TBRs. So sorry if that's not very interesting, but this author intrigues me, and that's why I want to read this work. Next up, I'm trying to put some authors on here from like my authors I should read more of because I like their stuff, and why have I not read them? And that's Blanca Iroha by Anna Marie McLemore. I love Dark and Deepest Red, which is pretty much universally everyone's least favorite by them. So maybe I'm just going to adore everything this author writes because I already love their least loved work. This one is one of my friend's favorite by them, so I'm going to try it out. I don't know a lot about it. This is basically just an author that I like, that I want to read more from. And also, my friend Judith is hosting a read-along for Anna Marie McLemore, and I wanted to jump in. I can't read all of them, but I wanted to read this one and the new release, so this is the Anna Marie McLemore I chose. And similarly, another author that I love reading their works is Louise Erdrich, and I have The Plague of Doves that Evie sent me. I'll put an image up so you guys can see it, but I have been wanting to read more Louise Erdrich, and this is the start of like sort of a trilogy where I've already read the last book, because it's kind of one of those contemporary literary fiction trilogies where you don't really have to read it in order, I guess. I'll make more sense of it when I've actually like read all 3 books. But this was apparently a finalist for the Pulitzer Prize. The second book got the National Book Award, and that's The Roundhouse, and the third one's La Rose, one of my favorite books of all time. So I'm excited to get to The Plague of Doves and like get to La Rose so I can reread it again. We'll see if it all happens this year or not, but I want to read this, especially since Evie got me this copy, and it's so nice and it matches my other ones. So yeah, and it's not that long. It's like a normal sized book. Another author that I want to read more of is Brown Girl in the Rings, Nalo Hopkinson. Nalo Hopkinson does amazing Caribbean speculative fiction work, and I've read one book. I actually have it, I think, on my shelf behind me. It's Midnight Robbers. Let's see if I can get this out of the shelf without bringing everything down. It's unlikely. But this is my copy of Midnight Robber. I love this cover. I found it used at the bookstore, and I was like, I must have this, because this is my favorite. I think it actually really reflects what's in this book. But I think the first published book might have been Brown Girl in the Ring. And I want to read it. I was supposed to read some last year and didn't get around to it, hence putting her on this TBR to help me prioritize getting to another one of their works. And the last one I have on this list is Magic for Liars by Sarah Gailey, another author who I'm like, I like their stuff. The Echo Wife was so good. So this one has even more of my buzzwords. I mean, I don't actually think Echo Wife has my buzzwords. The Echo Wife made me think, maybe some thrillers are for me. But Magic for Liars, I think, is about a sibling relationship, which, like, I love middle game. And so that automatically makes me be like, maybe I'll love this. I think it also might have to do with magic in a school setting. I think there's a mystery element, but really the reason I'm picking this up is because of the sibling relationship dynamics that I have been promised. And recently Laura from A Book Circus read it and really loved it. So this is my tentative first half, well, a little less than half, but of my books to read in 2022, and I will follow it up in April or March whenever they release the new bingo board, and I will get my prompts together and get really excited about it. And if you're curious about my current bingo board, here it is. I only need 2 more books. I'm really excited about it. But that's this list. Let me know what books are on your radar for the year that you really want to make sure you get to at some point. And if you just want to leave an emoji, I don't know, leave a stack of books. We haven't done that one in a while. Like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.